go. We have this engine bay. Now they try to do like a splatter paint job on it, so we have to take all of that down. The 320 grit and a Scotch-Brite. Now we're getting ready to blow all the dust off so we can wipe this thing down and get ready to primer it. Alright guys, so we're getting ready to prime this thing, and we're gonna go through, wash this thing, wipe it down with some water, and then we're gonna come back. Guys, here we go. This thing is all taped up, the little areas that we wanted to be taped, and it is ready for primer. We got the filler done. This thing all taped up and it is ready to go. I am super excited about this. We're about to lay some paint on it. He's mixing a quart of it. This is the color we're going with. The paint on this thing, we already did 2 coats, and right now Junior's about to lay the clear down, and we're gonna get to that. Here this thing goes. It's drying up and it is looking pretty good. Super excited about this. We're gonna let this dry. All right guys, so the engine bay is done. I am super excited about this. I absolutely love this color. This color is British Racing Green. So we have this D16 Z6. Now this is the one I pulled out of the red car that had low compression in the 2 center cylinders. So just pull this thing off. Now, and that actually lifted up easier than I thought it would, but we're pulling this off and the head is off. All right guys, so here goes the engine. Now all of these cylinders look to be in good shape. Got a lot of carbon buildup on the head. We got this thing off and we're just gonna rotate this over. And so we found out what's going on. You see these valves, guys? These valves, let me see, hopefully you can see them. They are pretty chewed up. I don't know if now we're gonna just pull this off, set it to the side, and the cam's gonna go out, come out, and we can start working on that you know, I am on a budget and trying to save some machine cost here. So up, that just popped off. Yeah, the other one slid out, the retainer came out, and here's the spring. Now guys, when you're doing this, see, here's that burnt valve, and we're just gonna drop it off, pop it out, and if you could see right there, guys, that thing is burnt from the backside. Hopefully I'm picking this up on camera good. So what I'm gonna do, guys, this is a $2 fix. This is gonna be super cheap. And we also got some valve grinding compound. But first, we're just gonna let these sit in there. And look at that, starting to bubble up. Now this is just parts cleaner. All right guys, so we let this sit. Now it did a decent job at taking some of the carbon off, but what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna hit the bottom with the wire brush. Now I'll show you guys what I'm gonna do. Since I'm gonna be spinning, there's gonna be friction, so I'm gonna coat inside the valve with a little bit of oil. I'm also gonna put some lapping compound on the end of this, not too much. You guys, you don't want to use too much of this. You don't want it to spin all around on the valve guide. So we're gonna slide that in, just like that. And guys, this is the, we want to take our tool, and we want to kind of plunge it on there. And you see there's a suction cup. Now, guys, you can hear that grinding. We're just going to continue to turn this. Let me move so you can see that valve turning. Now, guys, this is not going to be perfect. Now let's pull that out. We are going to pull that out, clean off. So guys, here this one goes, and that thing just looks so much better. Now you look at this one, you can see there's a major difference. There's so much carbon on there, but this was the same. Spray a little parts cleaner in here, and we are going to clean this off. Now I've already been cleaning it out. Now we just want to get all of the valve lapping compound. That valve, I'm gonna show you how I install these things. We're just gonna set that in there, just like that. Drop that one in. Now here's what I'm doing, guys. I'm gonna use this, a little piece of napkin, paper towel, and we're gonna set that under the back side of it. That way the valve won't drop. We're just gonna set that. Now you see when I push down on it, guys, this is what I do. Now I was trying to use that spring compressor. It was a lot easier to get those out than it is to get them back on. So I'm just gonna C-clamp this thing down, and as I put it down, I'm gonna tighten these zip ties. You can hear it clicking. That way we got some tension on this spring. We could keep that tension on the spring so tight as possible. We're just gonna release this, and see, the zip tie is keeping the it's keeping the spring down some. All right, guys, so I cut these ends off the zip ties. That way we got a little more wiggle room in here. We just put that spring on. We're gonna put this retainer. Now you see how there is just enough room to slide in the locks. We're gonna turn that one around. We'll set this one in. Hopefully you guys can see this. I can cut the zip ties. All right, guys, so that thing is set in there now, and I'm gonna come through, and I'm just holding the top just in case this thing wants to pop up on me. There we go, that one's out. And that one's out. Now there's no more tension. I'm gonna just pull these zip ties out now. There we go, that one's out. That one's out. And guys, you give it a little tap. That thing is seated in there, and that's not going. Keep those things oiled up as best as possible. I'm gonna set these in here, just like that. And what we're gonna do is pour a little more oil across the top of this thing. Too much oil can never hurt. All right, guys, so we're gonna put this whole assembly back on. Now, it's easier to have a set of hands to help you with this, but we're just gonna set that in there. We're gonna set this piece on. Now, guys, if this does not just drop in just like that did, something is wrong in here. So we're just gonna move on. These should just go in. gonna go ahead and torque these down. All right guys, so we got this thing back together, and you know, I just wanted to show you guys how to repair the valve. Now, if you want to see head gaskets and timing belt, Alright guys, so here we go. We got the engine cleaned up and we're getting ready to put the flywheel, clutch, and transmission back on. We're gonna pull this thing down and this thing is almost ready to go. Alright guys, so right now we're about to put the wiring harness on, and when I put these harnesses on, guys, it is always easiest to start with the injector harness. Now that way you can kind of guide everything back into where it needs to go. See, like the alternator harness just dropped down to the alternator. So yeah, that's what I like to do. I like to just start with the injector harness and just keep moving and get everything else plugged in, and we're good to go. Alright guys, so we got the whole swap ready to go in. D16Z6 with a D16Y8 tranny. This thing is cleaned up as best as we can get it, and the base prepped and ready. We got the mounts in, and this thing is ready to go in. So we're gonna get to that right now. Alright guys, so we're getting ready to put these mounts on, this driver side mount, and what we're going to do is we're gonna come through here. We just got that on there. We're gonna put this bolt through first. Now that that's through, we'll put the other, we'll put the nut on it, and we're gonna come down and we're gonna tighten these down a little bit. Well, we don't want to cross thread them, so we got them in down. Pull all this off, the chains and everything, and once we get all this off, we'll start hooking up the wiring harness. All right, guys, so now that we got the whole engine harness connected, we're just gonna feed. This is the inside harness that connects to the ECU and everything under the dash. So we're gonna feed this in through here, and that's gonna pretty much be it for the wiring harness side. Aside from connecting the distributor, we have a jumper harness for that, but this is a pretty straightforward swap. What I'm doing is we're running a D16Z6, but this is a OBD2 harness that comes off of this year car, so it's gonna be a lot easier to make this engine run, and everything's gonna just plug up. All right, guys, so this is the jumper harness. Picked this thing up on eBay for like 15 bucks, but it's gonna plug the OBD1 distributor. It's gonna plug the OBD1 distributor, connect it here. It's gonna plug it into the OBD2A wiring harness from the factory. So that makes this plug and play, and I don't have to jump anything or cut any wires or anything. It just makes this plug and play. So pretty easy, and I picked this up on eBay for like 14, 15 bucks. All right, guys, so we're putting the original exhaust manifold on this, and what we're gonna do, it's gonna be easier to just slide it under the car and lift it up rather than trying to come in from the top, because I'm putting it in as one piece and I don't want to bang the paint up or anything. So we're just gonna put that on right there, snug it up, hand tight, and this thing is it's really easy to do all this stuff, guys.
Those the glasses talking about?
Huh?
Those right there, impact.
Yeah.
Those impact.
Guys, this one's just a hair over 120. All right, guys, so that's just a little bit over 120, just like the other ones were. So we are looking good here. All right, guys, so we're gonna pull it out of this one. Now we're gonna put it in the other one. That one was low on compression as well. So we're gonna see how this thing does in this one. And we'll check all of them, but we just wanna check those ones first. Guys, and this one's back up to 120, so all cylinders are at 120. All right, guys, we're looking good. They're all within 5 to 10 PSI, and they're actually all within 5 PSI of each other. So we test all 4 cylinders and we're good to go. Alright guys, so we got the hatch inside and we are ready to start on the body work. I'm super excited about this and I think it's gonna come out good. If you look, I already marked where all of the little dents are. We got this down to the bare metal and we're just gonna show you this one. I'm not gonna show you all of these ones. I'm gonna do them off camera, but I'm gonna show you this one. And right now that's down to the bare metal and we're just gonna use some, lightweight filler. If you're using too much filler, guys, it's not a good thing. If you're using too much, if you're going through gallons of this stuff, chances are you're not pulling your dents out, you're not fixing the dents right, and you know, you're using too much of it. Here we go, we are gonna put this on there and basically this is gonna get all of those low spots out so it could be nice and smooth when we paint the car. All right guys, so we got that first dent knocked out and I'm gonna go ahead and finish all of these and I'll show you. It's gonna be the same process. Guys, so we got that body filler on and we are pretty much almost done with this side. I still gotta sand this stuff down. Here we go. I knocked this down with the sander just a little bit, guys. You don't want to go too far. You want to let the block sander do the work. So we just took all the excess body filler off the top, and now that it's down a little bit, we are going to go ahead and block sand this and try to make it straight as possible. We have to block sand everything by hand. I am using 220 to 320 grit. So this is it's very labor intensive, but you gotta do it to make it look good. And we're gonna have to do this a couple of times. So we got all of this sanded down. Looks pretty good. Now there's some areas where I need to add more filler and stuff. Like you see this little section right here. I gotta add more filler. You see I got like some pinholes right there. So I'm gonna lay a little more filler on there. taping the car off now, and we are almost ready to primer this thing. So we got this thing all taped up and we are ready for primer, and I'm excited about this. Now that it's ready for primer, we are gonna see how the body work came out, if we're gonna see any imperfections or anything like that once we prime it and block sand it. So right now it's all ready to go. I'm just gonna give it a final wipe down with some wax and grease remover, and then we're gonna prime this thing. Alright guys, here this thing goes. We got 2 heavy coats on it. That's going to be enough to block sand it, and this area where that big dent was, it looks pretty good. So the whole car looks good. It came out pretty good. Right now what we're going to be doing, we are using guide coat, and we're just gonna rub this all over the roof. We need to find the high and low spots. This mainly finds the low spots, so when I block sand it, any of the low spots, the guide coat will stay there. So we're just gonna go ahead and put this all over the roof. Alright guys, so we're block sanding with some 320 grit. We're gonna try to find any low spots. So guys, this is a long process, but so basically, if you come over here, see, we're sanding off all the guide coat here. Nothing is staying there, so we don't have any low spots there. So we're gonna keep moving around and try to get those. Hopefully we don't have any, but you know, you never know. So guys, if you come here and take a look, we found our first low spot on the roof. You can see that shading. The guide coat is staying there. All right guys, so we just finished block sanding the roof. Now I got one spot over there. I got another spot here, here, here. We just need to put a little bit of filler. Now if I would have kept sanding, that would have came off, but it's not too deep. The paint will probably fill that in. But guys, we want this thing to be laser straight, so. gonna wet sand the car, and I'm wet sanding this thing with some 500 grit, and I'm gonna just get this nice and smooth. And we're almost at the step where this thing is ready for paint. So go through the whole car and we're gonna be good to go. All right, guys, got this thing ready to paint. Don't worry about the hood, I'm not using that. But got it bagged up, taped up. Now I'm just gonna wipe it down and clean it up with some wax and grease remover and paint it. Got a couple of coats of paint on and it is looking good so far. Super excited about this. Need to put some clear on, but I'm just gonna let this thing sit for a little bit and we'll go ahead and put some clear on. So we got this thing pushed back and it is looking pretty good. I am super excited about this. I got one sag right at the bottom on the corner, but that's in the clear coat, so it will come off. Probably gonna do a little paint correction, clean up some stuff, but this is looking pretty good and I'm super excited about this.
Let me just tie one first. Looks good. Line up real good.
So I'm gonna put this rear bumper on. better. The door can close now, but I still need to bring it down just a hair more. Before it wouldn't even close. So actually we gotta bring it up a hair, but before, yeah, it wouldn't even close. We got the bumpers, the fenders, the doors, the rear hatch put on this thing. I'm super excited about this. I need to tweak the fitment of everything a little bit better, but for right now, I'm happy about where it is. Alright guys, got the hood on. I need to hook the latch back up, the cable, so I don't want to shut it now, that way it doesn't lock on me, but this thing is coming together. Alright guys, so we got the car up, we got the wheels off, and we are getting ready to put the coilovers and the new wheels on. I'm super excited about this. We got the Max Pete and Rod's coilovers, and we got these wheels. I'm gonna just go ahead and throw them on the car right now. Guys, here we go. We got the new coilover, the Max Pete and Rod coilover, and this is going to be a big improvement over the old one. So we're gonna go ahead and put these things on now. Right, up, hold on, down, wait, down a little, perfect, that's good, appreciate it. Alright guys, so I got the Max Pete and Rod coilovers on the front and the back, and I'm about to put the wheels on right now and see how it looks.
Leave it alone. Alright.
Sprayed some?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me take the charger off. All right, guys, so we got this thing running. I am super excited about this. The car is looking great. It's running and driving now. There's still more stuff that I need to do to this, guys. I'm gonna clean the engine up a little bit, paint the valve covers, do something about the exhaust manifold. I want to do a headlight wiring harness tuck, and I need to run the car a little bit more. So while we were driving it, I had to do so much. Like, the car didn't want to start. There was a bunch of old gas in the tank. I drained the gas out, and guys, the gas looked like swamp water. Like, there was no way, and it smelled bad. There was no way the car would run on that. So, you know, in the video, that was literally the first drive we took in this thing. So it was smoking a little bit. Now, the smoke was because of all the oil I poured in the cylinders and the head when I was doing the valve job. So all of that smoke eventually cleared out, and it was stumbling a little bit because of the gas. Once the new gas started to make its way through the injectors and stuff, it just started running a lot better. And here's where we are, guys. The car is running better. There's more that I want to do to it. Now, I built this car for my brother. We built a white coupe a couple of years ago. That thing got hit by a hailstorm, and it kind of wasn't worth it to fix it. But seeing all the body work that I did to this thing, it would have kind of been similar. So a lot of body work went into this, but it's a hatchback. Who doesn't love a hatchback, guys? These things are just great cars. They look good, and I'm excited about this, guys. My brother, he always goes with me to car shows and stuff like that. He's gonna be taking this thing to car shows. I'm gonna be driving my red coupe. He's gonna be bringing this out. So super excited about that. You know, we get to do stuff as a family. He's supported this channel for a long time, so it was time to get him something going so we could get out to these car shows together and have some fun. And guys, here it is. This thing looks great. So for all of you guys who are gonna ask, right now there is about $3,000 in it. $3,000, that's buying it, paint, body work, engine, transmission. I used a lot of old stuff like the clutch, you know, so that stuff didn't cost anything, a used clutch. But, you know, right now, there's under $3,000 into this thing. So the theme on the channel is built on a budget, and we kind of stuck to a budget on this one. Now, my brother has plans. He's already been buying parts and stuff. He wants to build the engine for this thing, go turbo, and all of that stuff is going to be coming in the future. So, you know, the car looks good now. In the future, we're going to make it fast. So, but this is where we are with the car right now, guys. I'm super excited about this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little longer than I usually make them, but it's been a long process to get this thing done. So here we are. Next couple of months, we're going to be doing other stuff on the channel. I kind of been slow with uploads, but I really wanted to focus on getting this thing done for car show season. And it's still not done. There's still stuff I got to do to it, but that was the focus, to get this thing done. And that's why videos kind of took some time. I was working on getting all the body work and getting this thing as straight as I can get it. And it looks great. So, you know, for where we are right now, we're going to do a couple of other things. I'll upload those as I get done, and I'm going to be working on other projects. But for this one, for today, that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap the video up here. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at 79th Productions. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. God bless you guys.